Hey everybody, I'm Jake Leputka here with local legend Steve Suhaka from Cache Valley. We're going to try out the Innova Savant.
So from Innova, the flight numbers on this guy are a 9, 5 glide, -1 turn, and a 2 fade. So, we're predicting a pretty stable flight, something that we can play with on a couple different angles. But for now, let's go see how it flies.
So at first we tried this disc on a steep hyzer line, kind of like if you were going around a tree. And I really liked the way it just kind of held the shape. It didn't really pop up at all.
Yeah, for me, it was almost hard to get high up in the air a little bit. That had something to do with the tailwind that we had. But what it did do is when we released it on that line, it just held it. So the more you kicked it out, the more it would fade back. If you're trying to get around a big tree, this disc would work for that.
Yeah, we had a pretty steep tailwind, and it was really good, just fighting the wind, really just kind of...
As you can see there, it's about 40-50 feet of fade.
Releasing it flat kind of yielded a similar result. Sometimes it would hold a little straight, but for the most part it still had that nice dumping fade.
I didn't notice really the 5 glide as much. It felt like, and maybe that was the wind, but it felt like the flight path was really consistent, which I loved, but it didn't get as much glide as I might have expected.
Yeah, the flat release was definitely my favorite way to throw this disc. It seems like a good disc to just be released with a lot of power, just on a flat angle. So trying this disc and hyzer, it was actually pretty tough to get a full flight out of it. I put a pretty steep anhyzer on that throw right there.
That's a gorgeous shot. What are you today? No, I agree. I think that when you got it turned over, the one thing it did do, and again, this might be the tailwind, but it fought out of it. As you can see in just about all of our shots, that Annie line, if you wanted to get an S-curve and you needed to navigate something, right then left, then you just stayed stable at the end, and it didn't really push through the turnover through the whole flight. So if you're looking for that, might not be the disc for that.
Yeah, I definitely don't see this disc turning over much unless there's like a huge headwind. It was pretty stable for us.
I personally really liked the Sidearm Flick. I think that especially for skip shots, it's hard to kind of track the disc because they do come out low, and you could get 40-50 feet of skip if you had a nice, slick surface like this.
Yeah, it was a great forehand disc, kind of like a Firebird, but it would go a lot straighter.
And a little more glide, I'd say, than a Firebird. As far as what I do with this disc, I probably would put it in my bag. I can't say that it'd go in immediately, but I think that having it as an option just for a good flick disc for a little more skip, and or if I wanted something a little longer than my Firebird with a little bit more glide than that, then it'd be a great choice for me.
Yeah, I really liked it, the Savant. It was kind of what I was imagining the Thunderbird would be, so I think I might put one in my bag as a complement to my PD, which has a lot more glide and straight distance to it.